Get them fired up and get them to the staging lanes, baby, because 8th Mile Apparel is now carrying Glowing Bracket Racing merch. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more can be yours today by visiting 8thmileapparel.com. We appreciate each and every one of you guys supporting the Glowing Bracket Racing YouTube and Facebook pages.
Back road to the burnout. GBR rematch. We're rolling down the back road to the burnout box. Tailgate talking about the tree and the clocks. Going bracket racing, pop pumping loud on the dash. With the country boys winch in the city boys clash. When that pre-stage flickers, everybody gets quiet. Hit the loud pedal hard, let the whole crowd riot. Yeah, we got mud on the tires, slicks in the trailer, VP in the jug, beer in the cooler. From the clap of the headers to the smell of that glue. GBR, tune in if you live in that dream. Casey on the mic, bringing heat like July. Breaking down the bracket game with the sharp eagle eye. George jump in, dropping takes like a hammer. Two-man crew shouting bracket racing grammar. Double O's hit us, green light splitters. Top bulb kings and blow a car wizards. We're rolling down the back road to the burnout box. Tailgate talking about the tree and the clocks. Going bracket racing, pop pumping loud on the dash. With the country boys winch in the city boys clash. When that pre-stage flickers, everybody gets quiet. Hit the loud pedal hard, let the whole crowd riot. Yeah. I got the cooler in the bed and the grill on low. Shooting breeze, about the stripe in the margin to go. From the big money races to your local track porch. Ain't nobody calling cleaner than Casey and George. Rubbing the throttle, playing old school tricks. The kind you only learn after thousands of hits. It's the GBR code from the farm to the town. Take it to the track and we'll all throw down. Fire suit swinging on a hook by the trees. Warm pit winds drifting soft in the breeze. If you know the feel of that Tuesday night air, then you know Casey and George, cause they're right there. I got the cooler in the bed and the grill on low. Shooting breeze, about the stripe and the margin to go. From the big money races to your local track.
What's up, everybody? Casey and George here on December 9th, 2025. Episode 216, I guess?
Yeah.
Who's more gangster? That's the name of this show. And it's brought to you by those folks that you'll probably see out at PRI this weekend. If y'all are out there going to PRI, I think it probably starts tomorrow, I guess, Wednesday. TSR Racing Products, Power Glides, Turbo 350s, 400, 727s. I've ordered a whole bunch of parts and tools and all kinds of stuff from them recently. Got one transmission put back together, and I got to put the other transmission back together whenever I get time to do that. Right now, I got two motors ripped apart. So got a lot going on. But TSR Racing Products, that's the place to go for all that transmission stuff that you need. BRG 3D printed parts. He actually put out he's got more than 3D printed parts. He's got some knowledge in that brain. Brian Garrett over there dropping some knowledge about those lithium batteries on some posts. You can look on the GBR Facebook page, Going Bracket Racing Facebook page. If you don't follow it, you need to follow it because we post stuff up whenever we find anything that might be beneficial to people who don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about lithium batteries. I assume you don't either, George. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know. But either way, Brian Garrett dropped some knowledge on that. Because there's some people that, I still don't know about those lithium batteries. They seem like they just randomly catch fire in the staging lanes time to time. So I don't know. Anyway, BRG 3D printed parts. That's the guy you need to go to for any kind of custom parts that you need for your race car that you might need made, and you might have a template out of cardboard, something like that. Send it to him in the mail. He'll make an actual hard copy of it out of some high density polymer and plastic that's lightweight and won't affect the weight of your car. Put it on your car and mount those accessories on there. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. Sticker shirts, brochures, anything you need for your business. Those are your guys to go to. Driven Racing Oil, I know for a fact that they're going to be at PRI. But you need to use the code GBR10 and get yourself 10% off any kind of engine for your race car, truck, transmission fluid, rear end oil for those hunters out there, truck you tow with, cleaning products. They got all kinds of cleaning products. That Speed Clean's the stuff you need to use whenever you park that trailer under those trees all year long and don't want to clean it. GBR10 gets you 10% off a whole case of that Speed Clean. It'll make it look as new as it could be now. Shouldn't have been lazy. I don't know what to tell you, but I've done it myself. Proform Parts. Visit proformparts.com. I know they're out there at PRI as well. Shop tools, carburetors, alternators, starters, accessories, tons of stuff over there at proformparts.com. They always got new stuff visit their website, visit them out there at PRI and figure out what they got. I know they came out with a new Dominator and everything too. So if you're looking to change that up for the wintertime, get you a little more air in that motor, get you one of them Proform Parts Dominators on that race engine. Crew Chief Pro Software, you saw Don Higgins lay down a perfect run, and he did that because of Crew Chief Pro Software. Don Higgins is the guy who invented Crew Chief Pro Software. CrewChiefPro.com. Lay down a perfect run yourself in 2026. Of course, Gearhead Solutions. You're ordering all kinds of racing parts while you're off this season. He's got access to every vendor you could possibly imagine and get you the best prices and usually get stuff to you in about 2 days. GearheadSolutions.com. That's the place you need to go for that. And, of course, Mid-State Dragway in Havana, Illinois, making it better and better and better. Every single time that you look at that racetrack, you can look at it on Google Earth. It seems like it almost improves instantly. George, what do you got to say about that?
A lot, man, a lot. Shout out to my boys, Brad and Greg. I'll be praying for you guys until I don't think I need to any longer. And we are with you right here at Going Bracket Racing for everything you're going through. Don't think we ain't behind you, man. So both of you, live right here on GBR, and from George, your brother. Give me a call if you need anything, man. I'm nothing but a phone call away. But yeah, Mid-State always doing what Mid-State does. Just a bunch of racers that love the sport. They'll build you a race car. They'll build you a motor. They'll hold the racetrack. They'll hold the race. They'll open it all up. They'll prep it. They'll do whatever when it comes to drag racing. Just a couple of good boys is the way I call them. So special shout out to them. I know big things are coming out that track. Like I said before, I know a little bit more to know that I can let off right now. We'll follow Mid-State's lead. Or once I get the go ahead to drop some nuggets, I'll do that too. But hey, man, I want to shout out one close to me too, real quick. My man Zayeth Rodriguez hit me up over text there on Facebook and dropped off what is called the Christmas 5Ks on the border. You know what I'm saying? And I can't speak very much Spanish, but I was looking it up and I still can't say it. It's like corre, viene corre or something like that. Come race or come drag race with us. Right there at Edinburgh Dragway, EMP. Looks like they're going to be having a warm-up race there Thursday. All-run gamblers, 2K to win. I think it's only $100 to get in there, according to this flyer. Friday, 5K on the top and the bottom, if I'm not looking at that wrong. Only $300 to enter for Friday and Saturday, as this is a weekend event with those gates opening Thursday at 8 a.m. So, pulling their Wednesday, guys. Go ahead. Camping is fine. They don't mind. Come stay the night. Bring your cooler. Bring your grill. It don't matter. I see a call to action because that join us, that looks like it's a join us picture by Sparky Lighton or somebody that says you can come drink beer for free and you can eat food for free. And then there's a doggone golf cart race. So there's a lot going on down there on the border. Expecting to see a pretty good turnout there. Guys, if you ain't got nothing going on this late in the season, always a reason to go run for 5K down there by the border here in Texas, out in Edinburgh. So, Edinburgh, Texas. Casey didn't necessarily realize they had one, but old Mo is in pieces, and there ain't nothing I can do to be able to go race it myself, you know?
I'll tell you what, I'm having a hard time even paying attention right now because my wife's making something in the kitchen right now, and I'm starving. And it smells good. So I'm having a hard time. So we're just trying to get through this show right now.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Casey, so who is more gangster? That's what I want to know. And before we get moving, Casey, I feel it best just to go ahead and show everybody what we're talking about here. I'm going to bring up something I hadn't done very many times. Sorry for the size of this photo, but I don't have the raw footage. Shout out Drag Coverage for this. I am on their Facebook page. Take a look at this, guys. We ain't going nowhere. Be right back.
All right, Jimmy's coming up, man. Little Gangster Jimmy will be over here in the tower side. Jimmy Dale.
Man, this is the biggest challenge that Jimmy Dale has faced to date. Corey Galletti sitting over there.
How about it? Both out of Texas.
This could be a great matchup. This could be the finals if you think about it, right? That's how good these two are. Left-hand side, Jimmy, great driver, has got a car that just works phenomenally. Corey in the right-hand side, beautiful car. He's shown he can get her done too over there, so it's going to be a great matchup.
Jimmy purges the nitrous, going to rip the motor a couple times like he normally does.
What do we got for a mill in that thing, you know? Like a 460?
It's a big block Chevy, actually.
Oh, is it?
I think in Jimmy's car, if my memory serves correct. Corey Galletti, backed by Rad Torque Systems, Abruzzi Transmissions and Converters, Sunset Performance Engines, Simpson Racing Products, and a fuel factory. Galletti in that beautiful low-slung Nova goes to the finish line. It's Jimmy Dale.
Told you he was going.
Man.
I was doing the Gazentas.
Place going berserk out there. Man, hatchet job.
I was doing the Gazentas. I go, he's going too fast, man, when you can kind of get close to it. He was out front quite a bit, wasn't he?
Dickie McFarland and Mike Haas. It looked like Dale had maybe a fender or more than that on him. It did.
All right. So figure we give some context to who's more gangsta. And in this particular matchup, hats off Jimmy Dale. You took down one of top 5, I would have to say, and that's room for argument. It's debatable, right? Everything's debatable. This is my opinion. Where's Nova fan? Top 5 drag racer of all time right now, in my humble opinion. If he ain't yet, he's gonna be. All right, it is what it is there. Talk to me, man, about your thoughts on this race, Casey, because I know I have a perspective, and I'm going to give that perspective, of course, without making any excuses to the lap that Jimmy Dale laid down.
Oh man, it's really hard to look at this from the outside in because it was a no time type deal. But it was obviously a 530 index class. Those of you who follow the Going Bracket Racing Facebook page saw that I posted a video probably, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours ago of Jimmy Dale actually being interviewed in the lanes, Corey Galletti next to him, and Jimmy Dale showing some respect to Corey. I didn't realize Corey had ran seemingly 2 or 3 of those in Texas. So presumably had everything set up correctly in that car. But I can tell you right now, I mean, flat out, obviously Jimmy, regardless if there's a time on or not, Jimmy obviously left on him and Corey broke out. That's how that race happened. Regardless if you have a time slip or not, you can tell that happened as a bracket racer. I'd say Jimmy just smacked the tree that time, and that was the time Corey missed it. And it's just like the story of bracket racing, man. The time your boy over here hits the tree and you miss it, it's over. It is what it is. And Corey probably went down there figuring, I'm going to take it by less than what I beat somebody on the tree on. And whenever you don't beat someone on the tree, it didn't work out. Corey went under the 530 index, and that was that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it doesn't generally work, man. When you have a game plan going into the race, especially something like this here, open debate as well. Is this class bracket racing? Open debate. One day we'll maybe jump into it. You know what I mean? But an index style race with bracket feel to it, especially once you leave that starting line, generally yields way to the bracket racer. And in this case, just watching it, obviously, when they left the lines, just anybody who understands reactions, you look at it and you can see that Jimmy Dale got out on him pretty good. I'm going to say to the tune of 300, and I don't need a time slip to be able to see that. At least 300 advantage. Could have been a little bit more than that even. But you see Corey go around him before that finish line gets there. At the same time, you hear the announcer say, he's going too fast. He's going too fast. Yeah, that's probably by design, sir. Tell me that you watch bracket racing without telling me tell me you don't watch bracket racing without telling me you don't. He's going too fast for a reason, and we're talking about one of the best to do it. So pretty interesting, Casey. But again, at this point in time, I gotta call the most gangster racer in that matchup, Jimmy Dale. And we still got more to talk about because there was more than one top 5 racer on that list inside of this class, Casey. Did you get to see any of Gage Birch's run? I know I didn't. I did not have the flow package to be able to watch that, so everything I got my updates was either from you or by way of finding a clip on Facebook. What'd you see?
I saw a guy think he was going to have a staging battle with Gage Birch and lose. I saw that. There, I don't know. That was just funny. That I feel like that car. So it's funny too because he was listed as Motion Raceworks for the driver name on the list all the time. So I don't know if they knew that Gage was the guy driving. I mean, obviously, I feel like they would. Gage works for TBM, which is, I believe, owned by Doug Cook and Cletus McFarland. Also, I feel like Motion Raceworks is obviously Doug Cook. Doug Cook recently bought Mark Williams, if you didn't know that already. So, very well known racer, very well known team, person, people, whatever you want to say. But Gage was driving. I don't know if Gage has driven that car or not. That car, I feel like I actually saw on Drag Week not too many years ago with some young kid driving it, like 16-year-old kid or something like that, driving it, or maybe even 14 or something. I don't know how that worked, but either way, I feel like that's that car. So maybe somebody will verify that, whether that's true or not. But Gage Birch, obviously in the finals, I am surprised and am not surprised that Gage didn't win that final round, because Tommy Hoskinson, people don't know this because Street Racing Channel, Gen 2 Garage, all that stuff, like that's based around no prep drag racing, going to War in the Woods, stuff like that. And Tommy and Billy, they always run no prep stuff. But what they forget is those two boys also ran junior dragsters. They know how to bracket race. So it doesn't surprise me, because that's what I would say in that scenario. That's one of the few scenarios I would say Gage is actually at a disadvantage, because that's what Tommy does, is run that type of stuff. And not that it was no prep or anything, but that's what he focuses on. Like, they're personal friends with Jimmy Dale. I'm sure that they've ran multiple Little Gangstas classes, but I can tell you right now, I don't care what it is. I don't care what kind of car it is. I don't care what class it is. If you say you can only pick one person for any class, no matter what it is, my choice would always be Gage Birch for anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're running super comp, big money bracket racing, local racing, street racing, no prep racing, Gage Birch. That's always going to be my choice.
Yeah, man. And honestly, Casey, we got, I guess this Little Gangstas Class is going to be going on for the next two of the Winter Series events. I would have to imagine, because there's a point series that looks like it's going behind it. I saw the points update on Drag Illustrated. By the way, shout out Drag Illustrated for a heck of a job with this event, for the platform to be able to speak about what is considered by a lot of some, a bracket class in Little Gangstas. And putting the platform out there for everybody to be able to watch that. So shout out to you guys, number one. But Casey, it's going to be interesting to watch the points shore up, to watch as they go down the race, throughout the races, who's going to wind up at the end, at the top of that points list there. And you guys are letting Gage Birch in at number 2 right now. And if you can hear me in the crowd, Little Gangstas, whatever you want to call yourselves, no preppers, non-bracket racers, I don't really know what you want to go by, racing in a quote-unquote bracket environment, you guys had better not let Gage Birch or Corey Galletti get a head of steam going in your 530 index class, whatever you call it.
Well, and
because they're going to be very hard to beat very, very soon, period.
Right. And the thing is too, is like, so the way the points program's set up right now, so Tommy's got 70, won the race. Gage got 60. So obviously that's kind of negligible with 3 races to go. Corey's still got 30. He's still in the hunt. I mean, there's still 2 races left. I feel like, no questions asked, I can't imagine either one of them is not going to run unless Immokalee's got something going on that's bigger. Because you got to remember, these guys are going for the most money. So surely Gage will keep running it since he's second in points. I can't see why he wouldn't. Corey might be down there staying at Gage's house, because Corey's down there at Immokalee racing. He's going to race all winter probably. I would be very surprised if Corey or Gage doesn't win one of these next 2 races. It would be very surprising to me.
Right. I'm reading the comment out of my man KG, Mr. Kevin Grider, the Sarge himself. He said, racing on the no time side is something a person has to put in the time to win. In 2026, You're not going to run a few races and dominate over there. Besides, the 530 class exists because that used to be all Magic could run. So, when I dissect this, Casey, and as we move into another subject of who's more gangsta, what I want to break down a little bit more is this class as a whole, and what's actually unfolding before everybody's eyes, as it is a race that is involved in not only most of our areas, but in the Winter Series itself. Number one, the invitation has been basically given by way of a little bit of trash talk by people who probably don't even drag race. There are a lot of bracket racers out there who have steel roof and quarters cars. I'm one of them. And all I need really and truly is a set of 10.5 tires, and I can come drag racing. Of course, a little bit bigger of a power plant to come be able to race in this class. Casey, talk to me about how many of us bracket racers could really make it work in this class. Do you think it's few and far between, or do you think there are a lot of us in a 530s car? We kind of talked about this over the phone a little bit, but how hard would it be for us bracket racers to turn our bracket cars into Little Gangstas cars?
I mean, it's like KG said, you just got to be able to, because it's a no-time class, you got to put in the testing. All you got to do there. It's the cool part about it is it's a very simple rule set. It's literally 28 10.5 tire. I'm pretty sure it's a non-W deal, and no delay box, which I think is irrelevant because like you don't need time in the delay box for a car of that speed. I mean, I was telling you earlier that in my delay box, I've never had more than 15, and that's a 450 car. So, and those, presumably a back half door car, back half style door car, or steel roof and quarters car, which typically would be a back half car. Maybe not so much anymore. There's a lot of outlaw cars out there now. They're all going to run a 28, 27 inch tire on them because otherwise they look stupid. So 99% of them will have that. They don't need a delay box because it's not going to help them. You're going to need all the help you can get to red light. So again, I think that's irrelevant. I think people who don't understand what a delay box is thinks you push a button and all of a sudden you're getting 00 lights, and that's not how it works. And besides, there's these things called just-in-time buttons that mechanically work like a delay box, so you can outlaw them too, I guess. And then if you're going to do that, you can outlaw micro switches because those things can do that too. So there's a lot of ways to be able to pick up your reaction time. That delay box is irrelevant. So that doesn't matter. So the point is 28 10.5 tire. The only thing that's going to really be an issue is you need to have adjustable shock mounts. Otherwise, you're going to have to cut out the main frame rail on the rear end of the car because the drive shaft will be a different angle from squatting, possibly. So
but this is not in the rule sets.
No, I mean the only real rule
basically by putting on the tire is what you're saying.
Yeah, the only real rule is a 10.5 tire. And normally they used to run them on no prep surfaces. Now that's a lot harder. I'll give them that. That is a lot more difficult because now you need to have a lot more power because you can't leave with a bunch of power. You got to have a bunch of power to run the 530.
Yep.
But on a prep surface, which is the case at all these Winter Series events, it's not that difficult to run 530 on a 10.5 tire is not that difficult. Now, if you were saying run 430 on a 10.5 tire, that's difficult, But I mean, running 530 on a 10.5 tire on a prep surface, not that difficult. So I would say as far as bracket racers converting them over, you just gotta have the power to do it. You gotta have the want to do it, and you gotta have the testing. And there's not a lot of testing to be done right now.
That's true. And I would have to say that's a pro to the class. I have a feeling this class could get large really, really fast, Casey. That could be a con, depending on how much time they have to run the event. There's quite a bit of money up top. If I'm not mistaken myself, it might have even been 20 grand. So that's not
worth chasing.
That's not chump change. Yeah, heck yeah, it's worth chasing. You know what I mean? So that's it. It could either be a pro or a con, what I just mentioned. But I kind of want to speak to what a lot of people may consider a con. And I like it just because it's new. It's something different. not anything that I've ever really paid much attention to. So thank you for the class again, because it gives us a little bit of a bridge into something we don't readily do over here on the bracket racing side of things, which is called no time. The board didn't light up at all. Okay, so I have no idea if Corey Galitti got treed or not. I know he took the stripe. Actually, I take that all back. I know he got treed because I watched the reaction, right? But we don't know it on paper, right? Anybody who can't look and say, oh yeah, he's in trouble because he didn't react, his car didn't move like Jimmy Dale's car moved. If you can't do that, you're kind of lost watching this clash, right, Casey? At least the way I see it. But we have the no time rule set into this thing. And I have my opinions on that. I'm sure everybody does. What are your thoughts on that particular piece? Somehow, I understand we can't show the other car proof. Put the proof in the pudding. What's your thoughts on that, Casey?
The only thing I've always wondered about that whole no time deal, whenever we're bracket racing and you can lose by breaking out, the only thing I've ever wondered is, like, if we're paying 20 grand to win and nothing else, so like if you runner up, you get nothing. And I don't know if that's how it is. I'm just saying, if this is the case, then if I go down there and say, I know, I'm saying this to preface this, I know a draggy is not going to be 100% accurate. It's within reason.
Right.
But it's not going to, like, if I go and run a 450 right now, it might say 452, it might say 448, right? If that draggy says that I ran 534 and I get there first and my win light doesn't light up and I broke out and lost, how does that conversation go? Because you can't show them a time slip because it's a no time event. Like, I know the time slip still prints. I know that it's in the tower, but technically, like, I was watching Pro Stock Gordo's video this last weekend, and they were all talking about this no time deal, and some people know and some people don't. That's a big deal for some of those no time guys. Like, it's a very, very big deal. And so you can't prove to me, without pissing them off, you can't prove to me that I lost. So how does this conversation go? I just have to trust you. And 99.9% of the time, they're trustable. But I'm just saying, how does that conversation go? Because you can't prove to me that you just took 20 grand from me, and you can't prove that I didn't deserve it. So I just wonder how that works. Like, I'm the type of guy, I just trust the guy in the tower. And maybe that's dumb on my part. Maybe I've lost stuff because of that. But at the end of the day, I just trust the track crew as being honest. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
But there's going to be someone who doesn't.
Yeah. I actually think that some way, somehow, even if it's by way of having two different printers, nobody should be able, even the announcers, nobody should be able to see how fast those cars are going, screens off, everything. The only person who should be able to see it is the director of the race. In this case, I don't know who that is. But if we have the director, that's the only way to see it, then we have the ability to win some of these disputes with a little within reason, right? There's still that whole thought process in anybody's head as to if that director is going to be fair. We all know Jimmy Dale is quite popular, and this isn't what I'm saying happened here, right? But Jimmy Dale's popular. It would make sense, especially after hearing the crowd after Jimmy Dale beat Corey. They were going nuts. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That crowd did seem large, by the way. I saw somebody put that in here. But fans want to see Jimmy Dale win the race, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got fans.
He's got fans.
People want to see John Force win until recently, obviously.
Until recently, right? So, I don't know, man. I definitely think that hopefully, and this isn't in any way, shape, or form what I would consider a dig to the class at all. But somebody's going to have to speak to something eventually. There is $20,000 on the line. That's all I got.
Well, the only thing I really don't understand, I don't understand the no time aspect, because there is a time. It's 5:30 index. So I just don't understand the concept behind that as to why that matters. Because, like, they were saying, well, for example, a couple of years ago, I think when they first came up with it, they were saying, well, somebody was treeing somebody and winning all year, never went faster than 5:45 or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's fine, but having the time up there makes no difference. You're still going to beat them if that's how you're beating them. It doesn't matter. So that's the part I just don't understand. I don't really understand why it needs to be no time. That doesn't make sense to me, because I can tell you right now, the way that any data logger works, it operates based on the trans brake release, and you're using trans brakes. So you let go of the trans brake and it starts timing you, and you know how long on average after you make so many runs that you lifted off the throttle. So you know within reason what it's running anyway. So and then you have draggies and all this stuff. So it's like you're not hiding anything. I don't understand that. So that's just something that I see as being an issue in the future, that and it could be simply, Jimmy Dale could say, it's our class and this is what we're doing. And that's fine. That's fine. It is their class and that's what they're doing. It's fine. It was some of the best racing at the event, with the exception of the big show, which was the Pro Mods. So, I mean, I'm glad it was there.
I mean, here we are talking about it. So keep it up by all means. You don't got to change a thing. I'm just foreseeing the future is what we're doing here, right? Coy over here, Coy Worley says, Coy Worley was asking, are grids and arc modules allowed?
The only rule is 28-10-5 tire and steel roof and quarters, as far as I can see, and no delay box. That's it. So yes, I can tell you right now, if I was going to run it, I'd put a profiler on immediately.
Oh man, automatic traction.
And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that says that. I'm sure there's some on other cars.
I'll guarantee it. So yeah, guys, this is a pretty well open class. Run what you got, which makes it pretty neat as well. There's other things that not everybody can just plug and play these things. You got to actually spend some time with this stuff as well. But let me do what I need to do and give those marketing partners a few moments of your time. Make sure you've smashed that like and share button. Leave a comment, whatever. If you got any questions, talk about it. Me and Casey will come back and break that down. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We've completely redesigned our best-selling thermostat fan to make it even
Utilize
better.
the latest
Proform's high-performance universal 15-inch electric fan is the perfect upgrade to replace the stock fan in your vehicle. With a greater it's equipped with the thermostat that's adjustable from 160 to 240 degrees. Mounted to your radiator supports with sturdy brackets and driven by a heavy-duty motor. And this unit pulls up to 2,800 CFM of air with a 14-amp current draw. All mounting hardware and wiring are included.
BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts are able to provide you with whatever you desire to enhance your drag racing operation. Items like safety belt magnets, nitrous bottle holders, and even quick release delay box mounts are able to be obtained from BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts. Have a look at top selling items such as helmet hooks and steering wheel hooks, which are proven to make it easier to maneuver throughout your race car. You can contact BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts at telephone number 765-729-1177.
Unleash your horsepower with Proform Super Street aluminum roller rockers. Utilize the latest cutting-edge manufacturing and design processes. The dual contoured body design allows for more rigidity with a greater strength-to-weight ratio, increasing engine power. Super Street aluminum roller rockers are available for a variety of applications and specs for Chevy, GM, and Ford, including pedestal mount, as well as a Chrysler shaft mount style rockers. On the strip or the street, Proform has you covered.
All right. Welcome back. Episode 216, Going Bracket Racing. Who's more gangsta? I am. Anyway, especially between me and Casey, it ain't even close. I'm telling you. Shout out to everybody who's been watching with us. GBR community, we got to shout y'all out first. Thanks for being with us all these years. All 216 of these episodes, you know what I mean? Can't be done without you. It's definitely a whole lot more fun to see y'all's comments inside of these chats and get y'all ideas coming through the email and the Facebook. You guys still send them. I know we've kind of been slacking off with those here these last couple of weeks, but we'll get back on the ball. It's just been a little busy this off season coming down the pipe like that too. But Syntex Printing out there, Ken Jones Performance, TSR Racing Products, Proform Parts, Crew Chief Pro, Driven, Racing Oil, all kinds of oils, even for the pew-pews, if you know what I mean. Mid-State Dragway, BRG Motorsports 3D printed parts, 8th Mile Apparel. Get you some of that GBR merch. Team 14 Motorsports, Gearhead Solutions. I will be calling you soon. I'm probably going to need some bearings and some lifters and maybe some springs. And I know you can get them for me, so might be hollering at you in a minute. Anyway, Casey, as we come back into the show and thank all those wonderful partners, especially Casey and George, man, those guys are really good at customer service if you'd like to get your product out to the Going Bracket Racing community. Hit them up, goingbracketracing@gmail.com. Casey, man, Little Gangstas, what else we got?
Well, I mean, we might as well talk about snowbirds as a whole. And I can tell you right now, before snowbirds even happened, I was thinking, I said, Jason Harris is getting ready to come after it, I feel like. And, he's from North Carolina, so it helps me out. But I just was thinking.
As Pro Modder drops in the chat. Anyway, keep going.
There we go.
Yeah.
NC Pro Modder, he's the man. I'm telling you right now. I got my foot stuck on a cord over here right now. NC Pro Modder. Got to see him at IHRA. That was cool to catch up with him. I figured he'd be at PRI right now. Maybe he is right now. He'll tell us. Dude, Jason Harris lays down 356 with a 0, and then of course goes on win the race with 356 with a 1. I had heard earlier in the week that he had put a Hearts Charger on there. Jason's always been a Pro Charger guy. And obviously, I mean, the Hearts Charger deal is really making it happen, man. And I want to also shout out John Dock, dude. Not just a YouTuber. John Dock, that Pro Mod program has come a long way since that Mustang, which I don't know if that was early this year or late last year that he got that. But, dude, John Dock was throwing down 350s left and right also. So very, very cool to see that. I know Jason does some tuning on their stuff as well, or at least got them stepping in the right direction. But, dude, those Hearts Charger cars are going very, very fast.
Yeah, no question about it, Casey. And you really did say a lot. There were a lot of racers there. Again, I probably won't miss the next one. Let me be honest. I'll probably go ahead and bite the bullet and pay for flow. That way I can watch all of the event, because I was kind of mad I couldn't see it all and just didn't go by it. But definitely enjoyed what I watched completely. I'm always going to be a fan of Kyle Kelly. It is what it is. I know there's a lot of guys out there who are fans of Kyle Kelly. Really would love to see my man Disco Dean out there. I'm not sure he's there, but would love to. I can't wait to see Disco out there, because that's my guy right there. All
I was
together.
surprised he wasn't there for that True 10-5 no time class. I really thought the Cadillac could be out there for that.
Right. It would have been, just something to see,
But it might be a deal that maybe, see, that's what all that stuff. Earlier, I was talking about that whole deal with Pro Stock Gordo and those guys all talking about the no time guys and how it's a very big deal to show a time at any given point. That was about, I think that was about Scott Taylor maybe showing a time slip, and that people get bent out of shape about that whenever that's their deal. But the fact of the matter is that maybe Dean had already showed times and maybe they weren't allowed to do that. I don't know. I don't know how the rules work with that. It seems like they go back and forth depending on where you're actually at, how strict they are on that type of stuff. So maybe that's why Disco wasn't there.
It's possible, man. And to answer your question, Tom, a little bit more restrictive with the fans out there at this race. There are a lot of fast cars, so you don't just have a lot of people just standing right on top of the starting line, which is pretty good in my opinion. I do like the feel of people being on the starting line for these races, but at the same time, safety first. This is a drag strip that is trying to continue running. At the same time, a drag strip that has thankfully found their way through what I consider some red tape with their local area, Bradenton Motorsports Park being that area. So let's keep it safe out there. But keep going, Casey, man. As you would continue into thought, I think I interrupted you.
No, that was really all I had to say on that topic. I mean, I guess obviously we need to talk about the wild crash that happened between Jim Halsey and Jeff Rudolph.
Sure.
Because me and you had a long conversation about that earlier today, actually, where you started with one tune and ended with a different tune after we talked about it for who knows how long.
Yeah, and absolutely a moment of kind of to reflect on, number one, but number two, forget the rotten apples or the rotten tomatoes, whatever you get from the critics of movies. Just go watch it for yourself and then unpack it yourself. Or when you read the Bible, don't just take your pastor's word for it. Go read it for yourself too, so that you get your own revelation, right? So that I learned that today pretty hardcore, because I read the comments of several videos out there. Number one, first and foremost, speedy recovery to anybody who was injured during that event there, that episode on the track. And shout out to the safety safari crew for getting up on top of those cars as fast as you did, right? Or safety safaris, NHRA. I don't know what you guys call yourself, but you know what I mean. Track safety. But anyway, reading the comments, a lot of people were really on the, man, if he'd have just pulled his chutes, he wouldn't have wrecked his car, or the other car was doomed if he'd have pulled his chutes or slowed down or got back in his lane, or anything Monday morning quarterbacking this bad boy. Me and Casey got a good chance to I think we both were slow-moing, rewinding, watching, looking. Man, a lot happened in 3.6 seconds, and probably a little bit less than that for both of those drivers, Casey. I think one car maybe got out to about 330, 340 feet before he got off the throttle. And if you blink, he's still at the finish line right behind that old boy. What'd you see, man? Because I definitely saw a reason not to say pulling the chute could have saved his car.
Oh, yeah. Well, number one, Jim Halsey is probably one of the most experienced nitrous pro mod racers of all time, excluding Ricky Smith, who's like the godfather of all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in, I think as far as I know, Jim Halsey is the current world record nitrous pro mod fastest car, 356 with a 1, I want to say, in the 8th mile. Just set that record. Jim Halsey owns a racetrack. Jim Halsey owns Yellow Bullet, runs the Yellow Bullet Nationals, which is the original, like, big outlaw type race, big pro mod event, they have all kinds of classes up there, up north, every single year. It's like, I don't know, it's been going on probably 15, 20 years, something like that, long time.
Right.
So number one, for people to act like Jim Halsey didn't know what he was doing was ignorant to begin with. But number two, people don't understand how fast those cars are and how fast stuff happens. Like, I just want to tell you, those cars regularly go to the 330 in 2.4 seconds. So with the 60-foot time in the low 900 range, that's like a 1.5 split time between 60 and 330. Now, just think about this. If somebody right now, if you're just sitting here, like me and you're just sitting here looking at each other right now, if some loud noise happens, what are you going to do? You're going to go like this. Right. Well, that was a second, right? Just to even look across your shoulder if it happened right behind you. So this car was cranked up and going, in the way a nitrous system works. They progressed the nitrous in. So it probably hit, who knows, 4th, 5th, 6th, maybe even 7th kit at that point. It was in at a 60-foot cone and about maybe 80 feet. It's still in, got hiked up, and it's still in the groove.
Yep.
And then something happened and it started to drift over with the front wheel still off the ground, and it goes across the line. Well, number one, pro mod bodies, you can't see out of them hardly at all, especially when they're cranked up. Like, you're just kind of like, oh, I think I'm going straight type thing. Mm-hmm. Number two, it's dark outside. It's nighttime.
Right.
And 2 black cars are running each other.
Right.
Number three, he takes out the 330 cone. He goes 242 to the 330. So he was probably in it until he hit the cone, sets the front end down. The absolute worst thing you can do when you're out of the groove on a car like that is try to whip it back into your lane. You're crashing for sure at that point.
No question. Yep.
It's just a bad coincidence that Jeff Rudolph was crashing at the same time, which, by the way, we've all ran into the shutdown. What's shutdown look like versus the track? Less lights, right? It's always less lights. Dark down there. So 2 black cars, and then all of a sudden one car hits the wall and has a big fireball in front of you. What happens? We've all stood out by bonfires. What happens when your buddy goes over here, has like an extra 6-pack, and says, I'm going to throw some gas in the fire? Because we've all been there. Throw gas in the fire, you can't see anything. So now you can't see anything. So everybody who says, why didn't he throw the chutes? Well, he didn't throw the chutes because he was off the gas at 330 feet.
Right.
So it was no big deal. It was just a bad coincidence that ghetto sleigh was crashing at the same time, upside down and in a fireball. And now all of a sudden he probably wished that he threw the chutes. But if you notice in the slow-mo video,
Yep.
when he goes down through there, he doesn't actually lock the tires up until it looks like he hits some old oil dry or something.
Which that white chalk blew up like it just blew up like a.
And that also could have been concrete from whenever that other car flipped over because he hit that spot.
Could have broken.
And either way, I mean, even if it was oil dry, like I don't expect the track to have picked that up, you know, in the middle. That's because it shouldn't have been a problem.
ProModer is reporting Jeff is home, so that's good news right off the bat, man. You know, he's at home, he's out of the hospital. But again, no Rotten Tomatoes, no critics. Watch it for yourself. When I slowed that down, I really don't think it would have mattered if he would have pulled the chutes anyway, because I know he dropped the gas at 330, guys, maybe 340 feet, if not a little bit further, give or take. But by the time he's off the throttle and the time the other car's wrecking, it looked like at least maybe 50 feet difference in between the two cars, and I'm saying max. So in a matter of 30, what I would consider 30 feet, parachutes aren't going to slow him down enough to stop him from needing to jam the brakes that way anyway, guys.
And you got a car in front of you that's upside down. You don't think it's dropping fluids? Right. Of course it is. Of course it is. Everything will. I mean, you ever take a carburetor off a motor and turn it upside down, bare minimum. And I know that car doesn't have a carburetor on it, but I'm just saying it dumps fluid out. The motor is not made to hold fluid in that direction. So there's all kinds of fluids coming out of that car whenever it's upside down. So you can't Monday morning quarterback cars like that because number one, again, I'll say what I said before. Jim Halsey is one of the most experienced pro mod racers in the entire country. Number two, you know, you weren't in the car. You don't understand. You know, I've told you, whenever I made the Chevelle go from 470 to 440, it's insane. Like that's a 10th in the 60 foot. That's a bunch. That's a whole G on the starting line almost. Jeez. Like that's a lot. So to go 8/10 or whatever faster than my car, like they're pulling like 4 Gs the entire time. People who've never experienced something like that don't understand how quick stuff happens and how out of control it looks. And it's not an aerial view type thing. Those cars, when they go dead straight down the track, the steering wheel was never straight that entire run, I assure you. So I just don't think that, I don't know. I don't think that people who, you notice not one pro mod driver commented badly about that. And you notice that Jim Halsey didn't try to defend himself either because he knows they don't know what they're talking about.
Sure. And I don't know what I'm talking about either. That's why I was just talking to you, Casey. You school me more often than not, man. I ain't been 4 seconds in anything. I ain't been 499 in anything, right? So I don't have no clue what it means to go out there and go 350s.
Well, I can tell you this. Whatever. I can tell you this because there's a lot of people that are listening to this show that will have experienced the way that I'm about to tell you. Whenever I went from 470 to 440 in the Chevelle, the difference was me getting out of a 790 junior dragster into my first super comp car that went 499 or 50s. That's what it felt like. That's how much difference it felt like. And I know there's a lot of people that can relate to that. Another way to relate to it is, so a 1.49 second, this is something I wrote down over here just in case somebody wanted to argue with us, because you know how that goes. Right. But 1.49 seconds from 60 to 330, that's roughly an average of 181 feet per second. A 45 ACP, the bullet that comes out of a 45 ACP travels 850 feet per second. So I know that's a big difference, but we all know if you go shoot a tree, it hits it instantaneously, right? And yes, that's 6 times faster, 5 times faster or something. But it's just to give you a general perspective of how fast that actually is, and to be able to react. I don't think people understand how fast those cars actually are and what they're doing.
And 10 to 12 car runs on Jeff's car, I do believe the NC Pro Modder is saying over in the
Yeah, that's
Facebook chat.
unfortunate.
That's a brand new car. You know what I mean? So, man, definitely unfortunate. Hopefully he's okay. Like I said, he's okay. You know, as far as Halsey, who knows? He'll probably be at the next Winter Series race.
Yeah, I think the good part about those Pro Mod cars is they're all built. Unfortunately for Halsey, his is probably super light titanium stuff in the front because he was going to set records with it. But it's really what sucks most is that was probably the first opportunity in a long time that Halsey, that not Halsey particular, but a nitrous car could have won that race because he was qualified like 8th at that point. And people also forget, I want to say one of the previous events, Jim Halsey might have won one of those like 3 or 4 years ago or something. So that's the other thing about people saying basically he did all this stuff wrong. It's like, dude, he's won that race already. He knows what he's doing.
Sure.
They don't know their history.
But all in all, definitely, again, hats off to the race. Looking forward to the next one, and we'll watch a little bit more closely as far as for getting the flow package to be able to watch it, man. So it's that time of year though, Casey. It looks like everybody and their mom and their mom's mom are headed out to PRI, and just going to be another year GBR will be missing out. Just so much going on, guys, around GBR's neck of the woods this year. I tried to get a late flight. It just wasn't going to happen for me. Just too much going on, you know. So make sure to report to us what you guys seeing out there. That's pretty cool. And we'll be sure and post it up or whatever the case may be. If you're out not being able to attend as well, watch the Facebook page. Anything we get, we'll put it out there. Let you see what's going on.
Let's see, YouTube chat over here. SS tried. I got a cord in the way, so I'm reaching up here real quick. He says, by the time he was able to get out of it and settle the car down, even if he threw the chutes, I doubt they would have barely had time to actually blossom by the time he was on Jeff. And that's true too. There's actually, it just so happened I was watching the video that George actually had posted whenever I was getting my butt stomped by Profab at the IHRA race. And you can see I threw the chutes and the chutes are coming out at, at the mile an hour cone. They're coming out. Well, it doesn't blossom until the scoreboards, which is at Galat, that's 1,000 feet.
Right.
So what's that? That's 400 feet. Well,
right. And that's right about where they should.
Yeah, that's where the crash happened.
Right. That's where it happened. So it would barely be out. You're definitely not going to be going any slower. And he was riding the center line. So as we've already said, if you're riding that center line, well, we're not talking about being in the traction. We're not in the groove. Anything funny, hard brakes, too hard of a correction on the steering wheel. Well, you reckon before you get
Here's another thing too. That's a nitrous car. It's got a monstrous hood scoop on it too. He might not even have seen what was happening until there was a huge flash of flames. He might not have even known where Rudolph was at or that he was upside down or any of that stuff because you can't see around all that stuff. Like, again, people who've never sat in one of those cars, they don't understand what your perspective is. Like if you put a hood scoop on my car, you wouldn't be able to see anything. If you put a screw blower or something on it, Disco actually put on his car, he built an offset for it, had somebody machine an offset so it sits to the side so you can even see the tree. But like people just don't understand what those cars are like, man. And I'm not saying mine is one of those cars. The chassis is one of those cars. The car itself is not. But I'm just saying that sitting in it is exactly like sitting in one of those. And I know what you can and can't see in it. And when you put a hood scoop in it, now you can see even less.
Yeah. And then you go fast. Then you turn the lights off because it's dark outside. Well, there's a lot of elements that lead to lack of vision. But yeah, man, this ought to be a pretty interesting offseason this year. I'm expecting for anything, number one, anything you guys hear out there at PRI, make sure you give me and Casey a heads up. We're not boots on the ground like you guys are if you're there. I expect to hear quite a few different announcements coming out. I almost imagine we'll know what driver is going to be in the other seat of the John Force Racing team. Again, I'm hoping it's a rookie or a young gun of some sort. Would be nice to see. And I'm expecting announcements pretty well from everybody. I know TB Promotions has an announcement coming. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe they'll have a show tonight. Maybe. I bet both of them are probably on their way to PRI as well. But keep us in the loop, man. I'm on the outside looking, trying to look in. So you know how that goes.
Last quick topic of the night that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
PDRA schedule got released yesterday. So 2026, we were even talking on here that what's up with PDRA? They haven't released the schedule. Are they still here? Because all those rumors were floating around that PDRA is not going to exist. VMP's getting sold, blah, blah, blah. We don't know what's going on. We're going to learn probably a lot in the next 2-3 days. So next week's show, we'll probably have a ton of information. But the fact of the matter is PDRA released a schedule and all southern tracks, all southeastern tracks to be specific. There, until this morning, there were rumblings on the internet. I guess there still are rumblings on the internet. I think it was Tim Molnar. Yeah, that Molnar, the rod company and crankshaft company, etc. That he had said, well, just like that, overnight, we have 7 less Nitrous Pro Mod races because he stepped up from Elite Top Sportsman to Nitrous Pro Mod this year. And he kind of started all the stuff on Facebook that maybe he had some insider information that IHRA potentially was not going to run Nitrous Pro Mods. It's something I asked on Monday Morning Racers show last night or the night before. I can't remember whenever it was, but Lee Craft, Monday Morning Racer, go back and check that out. His last show, he talked about it probably halfway towards the end. He said a lot about it. Very interesting take on what he thought about IHRA's version of Pro Modified. Mm-hmm. But Pro Nitrous obviously is going to be on the PDRA schedule, which I thought would be incredibly odd if it wasn't, because Tommy Franklin owns that organization. Obviously, Tommy Franklin and Amber Denton, formerly Amber Franklin, his daughter, Nitrous Pro Mod people. There's 2 of them right there. So everybody's kind of wondering, does that mean that IHRA is not going to run that? How are they going to do it? Are they going to put all of Pro Modified together? So again, that'll, I'm sure, be announced within the next couple days at PRI, but it's good to see that PDRA is here. The thing I wanted to talk about for this show's purposes is not necessarily Pro Modified, but the fact that we always talked about how, me in particular, because I had always told you before IHRA showed up, if I was going to run PDRA, I couldn't even run the entire points program, even if I wanted to, because I'm not going to go all the way to Michigan and all the way to Norwalk to run 2 races when everything else is within 4 hours of my house. Mm-hmm. So now that, that sucks for those northern guys, but I feel like it just makes much more sense if you want somebody to follow. The point of a points program is to get people invested and get them to follow your program to win a championship. And I think that's going to be they're going to be a lot better off having all the races in that same radius. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I think number one, you're definitely right. When you have a program of any sort, in my opinion, that program needs to be built around the market that you're in. We know PDRA exists and thrives well in the East, in the North, and in your area. There's just fast door hard heaven, and that's where it's going to do a good amount of revenue in those areas. My thoughts on PDRA's schedule being having their Pro Nitrous class, and I don't believe we saw anything like that on the IHRA schedule. I have my thoughts on that. Let's just leave it at that, and we'll wait for announcements to come out and leave it at that. I don't want to poke the bear here or play devil's advocate on what I really think's happening, based on putting news together and watching the 2 schedules get developed and watching the classes be put out there. One could easily draw a conclusion that I'm sure I'm leading everybody to at least attempt to draw right now. I'll leave it at that, Casey. Maybe we'll have another show, and sorry to not give you all of what I'm thinking here, but read between the lines, basically, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be good. Anytime we can get the Adrenaline Chevelle out to a race, especially a PDRA or a IHRA Top Sportsman event, whatever the case might be, that's always gonna be a positive event. Just let me know where you're going so I get my plane ticket. I need to be out there.
Yeah, well, there'll be plenty of them. It seems like. I mean, I think it's a great move for PDRA as far as the following goes, to be able to have them all in a general vicinity. What do you say? Ask him how much money he lost. So, hopefully,
money did you lose on that race, Mitch?
I saw him saying, when's he want to run it back? And I know he's all about it. So I'm sure he'll get that money back. He isn't worried about it. He'll get it back.
He's just holding on to it for you, Mitch. He's just holding on. You get it
Yeah.
back.
Get it back with some interest here in a couple days. So it's cool that they had that points program with that, though, because that means those guys will probably come back. And I'm sure that sure we'll see some new faces.
I didn't get to see whose car is Gage running.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think it's an old Dragon Drive car that I think a kid was driving a few years ago. I'm pretty sure that is, I don't know, maybe it's a Motion Raceworks house car or something, but I am 99% certain that I saw like a 14-year-old kid driving that at Drag Week, at Sick Week, one of the first ones.
14-year-old.
Mitch would know. Mitch will know.
Mitch definitely gonna know, but I don't know if he's still in there. See his comments. Anyway, Casey, man, I guess we come up on that hour, and I got to give my kid to basketball practice. You know how that goes too. So, guys, on behalf of GBR, thank you for stopping in, saying what's up, liking and sharing, following us on the community, following the community itself, whatever you want to call it. Can't do it without you. We'll see you guys next Tuesday for another episode of Going Bracket Racing. Peace.